Ever feel like you're living in the future, just without the cool parts? We have supercomputers in our pockets, but we're still stuck in traffic jams that feel like they're from the last century. It's a daily grind, a slow-motion crawl that steals hours from our lives. But what if I told you that 60 years ago we were on the verge of solving this very problem? What if the skies above our cities were meant to be highways? This is the story of a forgotten future, a dream of urban air mobility that soared, crashed, and is now against all odds attempting a spectacular comeback. Picture this. It's the early 1960s. The world is buzzing with the energy of the space race. Anything feels possible. In New York City, a new kind of commute is taking flight. Sleek, powerful helicopters are landing on the rooftops of skyscrapers, like the iconic Pan Am building in the heart of Manhattan. This wasn't science fiction. It was a scheduled airline service. For a few glorious years, you could step off a plane at a distant airport and in a matter of minutes be whisked over the gridlock to an office high above the city streets. A dream of vertical cities, interconnected by air, was real. This golden age of rooftop travel was born out of necessity. As propeller planes gave way to massive jet airliners, cities had to build new airports further and further away from their centers. New York's LaGuardia was too small, so the sprawling Idlewild, later renamed JFK, was built miles out in Queens. The journey from the airport to the city became a marathon in itself. The solution? Helicopters. New York Airways, with the help of hefty government subsidies, launched these skybus services. They connected JFK, Newark, and LaGuardia airports with a heliport on a pier at the foot of Wall Street, and most glamorously, the top of the Pan Am building. Imagine the sheer convenience. You could fly from Paris to New York, then take a 7-minute helicopter ride right into Midtown. It was the peak of jet-set glamour, a symbol of a city that was always moving, always reaching higher. For a brief moment, the helicopter wasn't just a tool for emergencies or the military. It was a legitimate part of the urban transit system. The future of commuting, it seemed, was vertical. But this beautiful vision was built on a fragile foundation. The economics of running a helicopter airline were, to put it mildly, brutal. These machines were incredibly expensive to buy, maintain, and operate. They guzzled fuel, and their complex mechanics with thousands of moving parts required constant, costly attention. The tickets, while not cheap, didn't come close to covering the actual cost of a flight. The entire operation was kept afloat by government money, a subsidy designed to nurture this fledgling industry. Then, in 1965, the music stopped. The federal government, facing the mounting costs of the Vietnam War and other priorities, decided to cut the subsidies. Almost overnight, the financial reality hit home. The price of a ticket would have had to skyrocket to an astronomical level to make the service profitable, a price that very few were willing to pay. The dream of a helicopter on every rooftop was colliding with the harsh reality of dollars and cents. The airlines struggled, cutting routes and desperately trying to stay airborne. But the economic turbulence was too strong. The golden age was quickly coming to an end. As if the financial woes weren't enough, a series of tragedies would seal the fate of rooftop landings. The 1970s were a dark time for the industry. In 1977, the unthinkable happened. The landing gear on a Sikorsky S-61 helicopter collapsed while it was idling on the Pan Am Building's rooftop heliport. The massive aircraft toppled onto its side, its still spinning rotor blades detaching and scything across the helipad. Debris rained down on the streets below. The accident was a horrific, public spectacle that instantly turned the dream of urban air mobility into a nightmare. Public perception shifted dramatically. What was once seen as the height of glamour and innovation was now viewed as a reckless danger, a ticking time bomb perched atop the city's tallest buildings. The convenience wasn't worth the risk. In the wake of the tragedy and intense public pressure, rooftop helipads in most cities were banned for public use. The doors to the sky were slammed shut. The whir of rotor blades over the city faded, replaced once again by the familiar symphony of car horns and screeching tires on the streets below. The future had been canceled. For decades, the idea of flying across the city remained grounded, a relic of a bygone era. The challenges seemed insurmountable. Helicopters were too noisy, too expensive, and, as history had shown, perceived as too dangerous for widespread urban use. The dream went dormant, a footnote in the history of transportation. But technology never stands still. While the dream slept, engineers and innovators were quietly working on a revolution. The rise of electric vehicles on the ground sparked a new idea for the sky. What if you could take the principles of a helicopter, but make it simpler, safer, and cleaner? The answer came in the form of eVTOLs, or electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. These are not your grandfather's helicopters. Instead of one massive, complex rotor, they often use multiple, smaller electric propellers. This concept, known as distributed electric propulsion, offers incredible advantages. It makes the aircraft quieter, far more efficient, and, crucially, much safer. With multiple propellers, the failure of one, or even several, doesn't necessarily lead to a catastrophic event. They are the smart, clean, and quiet evolution of that 1960s dream. Companies like Joby Aviation are at the forefront of this renaissance. They've developed sleek, futuristic aircraft that look like they've flown right out of a sci-fi movie. These eVTOLs promise to be whisper quiet, produce zero emissions, and operate at a fraction of the cost of traditional helicopters. They are designed from the ground up to be the missing link in urban transportation. And this isn't a far-off fantasy. The future is arriving sooner than you think. Joby Aviation has already announced plans to launch an air taxi service in Dubai as early as 2026. Imagine summoning an air taxi with your phone, heading to a nearby skyport, and flying over the city's traffic, arriving at your destination in minutes instead of hours. This is the promise of the new age of urban air mobility. Cities across the globe, from Los Angeles to Singapore, are now planning for the return of flying vehicles, building the infrastructure needed to support this new network in the sky. So, here we are, standing at the precipice of a new era. The dream of the 1960s, a dream of flying over the city, is being reborn. But this time, it's powered by 21st century technology, electric propulsion, its advanced software, and a profound focus on safety and sustainability. We've returned to the fundamental problem that those early pioneers tried to solve: the mathematics of wasted time. Countless hours we lose every day just trying to get from one place to another. The original vision failed because the technology of the time wasn't ready. The economics were unsustainable, the noise was unbearable, and the risks were too high. But today, have we finally cracked the code? Has the silent hum of electric motors finally solved the problems that the roaring engines of the past could not? We are about to find out. The sky above our cities, once a forgotten frontier, is about to become the next great highway. The question is no longer if, but when. And this time, the future might finally be here to stay. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by how technology is shaping our world, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories about the future that is happening right now. See you in the next one.